Hey guys, what's up? It's TEW 2016, Monday Night Raw time. I don't think I need to introduce the series at this point anymore. Let's just jump right into Raw. Alright, so I didn't do any, what's it called, dark matches this week. But we're coming from McKay Stadium, 26,000 people for Raw. And we open up with The Rock and CM Punk. And The Rock comes out, hyping up the crowd as he usually does. And for this promo, I like to imagine this is the Royal Rumble promo, where, pretty much The Rock comes out and then CM Punk kind of just buries The Rock. The whole purpose of this feud in my mind, and I should say this now, once after WrestleMania, I'm going to try to be more, fluid with my promos and like that, to, plan them out more. I want to get the series out to get WrestleMania there as, a starting point. But the amount of shit I have booked for the main, at least the main title scene, is so far in there. It's gonna be probably a lot more watchable than this. But it's just growing pains. But like I said, I like to imagine this is the one. Cause CM Punk's great on the mic, and that one, my favorite line, is the whole your arms are too short to box with God. But for this promo, the ending of it is specific, in which The Rock and CM Punk, if you remember, the first couple weeks, were making fun of each other for not showing up. CM Punk was making fun of The Rock by not showing up, whereas The Rock was making fun of the fact that, he didn't show up at all. And they both challenged each other to singles matches. Singles matches both tonight on Raw, so, people in McKay Stadium get to see not only the WWE Champion CM Punk, but The Rock wrestle tonight. I can't think of anything better than that. It would have been awesome if they're wrestling each other, but, you gotta pay the pay-per-view for that. So, no, we don't need any of that. Let's go into the first match here. And we have some interesting newcomers to the scene. These Motor City Machines, if you will, that's what they're announced. A take on the team of Common Ground, Alex Riley, Mason Ryan. And they do actually get the windfall with Made in Detroit following interference from the Big Show. So it looks like the Big Show is still trying to be a pain in the ass to the Money in the Bank. Pretty much Alex Riley versus Raw is the story. Although R-Truth hasn't really been around too much, now that I think about it. That might be bad on my end. But of all the different winners of the match, could you imagine if fucking R-Truth won? So, not to bury truth, but, the people, we still don't know who they are. Shelly and Sabin, if you will. That's what their names are. They got good ratings, and they have excellent chemistry together. Is there anything from that? Mainly just the only real line, the line back here was, Alex Riley holding back and Mason Ryan sucking. Mason Ryan sucks. I hate him. He will probably get a world title shot at some point, though. Oops, said too much. So, the Motor City Machines then get mics to the crowd, and now we actually learn a little bit about these two guys, and they say, you probably know who we are. Most of you. We assume you would. But this corporation has made us alter our names, so we kept them as best as we could. Because, they do this with a lot of different wrestlers in order to silence them. But there's one thing about the Motor City Machines, so that's where they first officially get their name. We can't be silenced. Granted, they made our change our tag team name, but, the whole PG thing is outrated anyway. You damn nerds complain about that on the internet too much. So what do we want here in WWE? Well, I think we made that statement pretty clear. Kings of Wrestling in Zayn. It was a fun little match you guys were having, but you're nowhere near the level of the Motor City Machines. The Motor City Machines are the premier tag team now that we've been signed to WWE. And on that regard, and then Antonio Cesaro and Chris Hero, that young knockout kid, just knocked the absolute shit out of Sabin and Shelley. They just run roughshod over these poor guys. They come out of nowhere. Not burying them. They fight back, Sabin and Shelley. If you remember the Motor City Machine Guns, you know, I know who they were the whole time. I'm not a fucking idiot. Their tandem offense works good at keeping, like, in a beatdown it works even. But, you know, Cesaro's huge. Chris Hero, he's still got that knockout punch. And pretty much they knock down Shelly and Sabin, to which they say, you want a tag title match? That's okay. But we also want a tag title match. And we talked to Insane. And both of us are totally open to kicking the absolute crap out of you at WrestleMania. So that should hype up the crowd. They leave, you know, they're talking, like, standing over their, like they're essentially what remains of their corpses. And as the Motor City, they start to stir, they're like, you know, they kind of look like maybe they've been off more than they can chew in terms of Kings of Wrestling and Insane. But they're gonna go try it. So Sabin and Shelly, you know, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Motor City Machines, there are no guns in WWE PG. The Kings of Wrestling and Insane for WrestleMania sounds absolutely lit. So let's go to the next segment here. And we cut backstage to footage of Xavier Woods, our new NXT champion, just getting mauled. Like, it looks like he's in the process of about to start an interview, like he's doing his hair up, you know, having a good time. And then, like, Nicholas Magnus just super kicks his head off. Douglas Williams just starts beating the absolute crap out of him. Drew McIntyre probably gives him, like, a claymore on the damn, like, just in the hallway. And Wade Barrett looks like he's gonna go hit Laceland. When all of a sudden Zack Ryder comes, just spears Wade Barrett right in the hallway. The security's trying to separate everybody, and Zack Ryder essentially has saved. Well, I mean, he was a little late, but as much as he could, he saves Xavier Woods. They shake hands. It looks like the Zack Pack officially has its first member. This storyline was a little bit, like, hard to build up. Like, I'm trying to work between, and like I said, WrestleMania will fix that. Like, I usually, like, when I was just playing by myself, I knew what was gonna happen and no one was watching, so I kind of, like, build up was a little bit quicker. So in this instance, I've kind of screwed myself and kind of having to book really like this match on the fly. But, you know, we will see the Zack Pack be formed by WrestleMania time. And it's going to have some strange interactions, as is WrestleMania history, you know, the underdog team. Speaking of which, we have a matchup next, which is Tanahashi of the Dragon Aces defeats Douglas Williams in 20 minutes with a clover weave. Pretty good wrestling by these two. You know, you have Tanahashi's pretty good as a mid-carder, and then you have Douglas Williams in 65. That might be one of his lower performances. Mainly just because he's getting older, at least when this game came out. I mean, nowadays, if the games took place now, I don't even think he'd be wrestling. He might be retired by 2019 in this version of the data. But, you know, still, you know, Douglas Williams he's a good mid-carder. So, expect things out of both of those. I like those two guys, and I like that match. And we have a decent little calm the crowd match after that. We have Brie Bella taking on Velvet, with Velvet getting the win with a double knee backbreaker. You know, just kind of like a women's division showcase there. And wow, I did not expect this good of a rating. I expected like a B. But AJ Lee, she cuts a promo on Natalya. I couldn't really think of anything specific for her to say. I'm in the process of writing the character I wanted AJ Lee to be. You know, I don't think, you know, I don't know what I'll exactly do pulling trigger-wise with AJ Lee, but the game did say she's a star in the making, so I am interested in hearing her. But pretty much, what I can think of on the fly is just pretty much she just compares herself and Natalya. Whereas Natalya needed the Heart Dungeon to become the wrestler she needed. AJ Lee just did it herself. She didn't need Bret Hart and Neidhart and all those people in that dungeon. I'm just kind of promo. The Heart Dungeon never died, brother. She hypes up the fact, again, just hyping up the fact that she didn't need the best wrestlers in the world holding her hand. She just is one of the best wrestlers in the world by just being herself. That's about, you know, basic WWE shit. And, oh, you thought I was kidding with R-Truth. So R-Truth's in the back, being interviewed about his Money in the Bank chances. And, you know, maybe we could do the comedic, like, oh, R-Truth's afraid of ladders gimmick. You know, I'm scared of the ladders, brother. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna try my best to climb up that ladder, and then Big Show just bowls over him like he's a piece of shit. Jericho just start beating down on R-Truth. Jericho just made to look like an absolute monster. These two guys. I mean, the Big Show clearly is mad about not being in Money in the Bank, but at least he's helping his friend out, clearing up the competition on Raw. You know, it's pretty much, again, the two baby faces on Raw have absolutely been shit on by Jericho, whereas in another place, you know, it's kind of an interesting dynamic, I feel. There's one babyface for SmackDown and Sheamus, two heels, Daniel Bryan and Alberto Del Rio, while there's one heel, Jericho, and two babyfaces, R-Truth and Alex Riley, and they're kind of getting, like, the role, they're even still getting murdered just because the Big Show is that awesome. I just thought in my head that for a second, thought I'd shoot the shit there. And, oh my god, this is why CM Punk's awesome. In a 97 A-star match, CM Punk wins his showcase match, non-title by the way, against Shelton Benjamin with an Anaconda Vice in 22 seconds. Shelton Benjamin takes it, but CM Punk is CM Punk. He's been the champion since November of 2011. It is March of 2013. This man looks unstoppable. It's not even that The Rock even really earned his shot. Probably in CM Punk's mind is he's so good, it's going to take someone like The Rock to try and take that championship away. And emphasis on try, not will. I probably should have used that in the promo part, but again, I'm an idiot, so. And then we have a segment where CM Punk he literally beats Shelton Benjamin, doesn't give a shit. And The Rock comes down to the ring at the same time. They did the shoulder barge gimmick. They don't even look at each other. Just a fun little segment, I thought that'd be. And then we cut to the back. We cut to the back real quick while The Rock's making his entrance. Like, the screen glitches up. And we see the family with Bray Wyatt with his United States Championship around his neck. Like, the beard is kind of, like, over covering the flag. I thought that'd be a cool visual. And the camera just pans down, and there's Evan Bourne. It's clearly Evan Bourne, but he's got a sheet mask on. And there's, like, maybe there's, like, blood coming from the sheet mask, like the eye parts. Or maybe, like, the mouth. He's bleeding. Like, they just beat the crap out of Evan Bourne. All the baby faces, man, it's gonna take a lot for them to overcome the odds. That Evan Bourne, though, he's a flyer, you know. You saw what he did to Randy Orton when he gave him the sickest RKO, so you could count on a highlight reel from him. I love Evan Bourne. I'm sorry. I was just kidding. That was a bad joke. You know, I like Matt Sydal in Impact. Maybe he'll win that United States Championship. Who knows? And then there's this. So The Miz is the one who comes out to fight The Rock. And in this, it's kind of like an open challenge format. Like, maybe I could have had, like, The Miz be, like, backstage talking smack. Well, I mean, he did talk smack about The Rock last week on Raw, so it makes sense. And in 22 minutes, The Rock and The Miz put on a great match, 99 A-star, by the way, mainly because The Rock is The Rock. When all of a sudden, during the match, near the ending, maybe The Miz looks like he's getting the better of The Rock when John Morrison's music hits. And instead of coming... And what I like to think happens is Miz knows Morrison, so instead of looking to the entranceway, he looks to behind him, which is where Morrison is. He came through the crowd, and he's got a chair in his hand. Looks like he was going to hit Miz with it. But he just kind of stops and smiles, because the Miz then turns around where he should be looking and gets hit with a massive rock bottom. And just absolutely devastates it. Gets devastated by The Rock. And The Rock picks up the win with that rock bottom. And that's how we end the show, with The Rock standing tall over The Miz because of John Morrison. Let's see how this show did. Hopefully 97A, up in 43 regions. I didn't have any pre-show matches or small matches because I wanted to get a raise in ratings up from that awful B show we did. Great episode of Raw, in my opinion. Like I said, once we get past WrestleMania, the storytelling is going to be... I've got plans for it. I'm not going to say it's going to be great. I don't want to hype myself up and look like an ass. But it's going to be good. It's going to be going good, guys. So thanks all for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next episode of SmackDown.